What's up, fam? Welcome to the Financial Conversation. It's your boy, Devon Harris, a.k.a. I Got the Keys. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the newest addition to the Old Fashioned Health Network. I'm so excited to be in here and have these conversations with you, right? So what is the overall goal to this show? Primarily, we're here to focus on having conversations towards financial literacy, right? What does it take to get out the rat race? Things of that subject, right? So I want to strike up these conversations, share these stories, these success stories with you to eventually or hopefully help you guys get to the point of, eventually quitting your jobs or starting a new venture with your friends and family, right? Because eventually, ultimately, that's what we want. We want to figure out ways to build wealth and succeed, right? Nobody wants to spend their entire lives working a day job and stressing over not being able to pay their bills because we're not making enough money at our day job, or we're breaking our backs, right? So how do we get out of these predicaments? So we're here to share our stories and help our community along the way, right? So I want to share a bit about myself. Again, my name is Devon Harris. I'm a local real estate investor here in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. How did we get started? All right. So long story, right? I'm going to try to cut this as short as possible. But look, I'm only a little bit over 2 years into the game. I've gone through about 16 to 17 properties that we flipped. We got started right when the pandemic popped off back in 2020. Okay. But basically, I got started by getting my real estate license in Birmingham, Alabama. All right. This is about 3 years ago. I got my real estate license, sold a couple houses, and eventually saw how much money it was being taken out after, I paid my broker and all the fees and such whenever we sold those houses, right? So I saw how much money I was losing selling through a brokerage. Okay, so at that point, again, I had a 9 to 5. I was in the IT industry. I got a computer science degree. I was working for a banking company where they make software for banks and credit unions across the country. But basically, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I got into real estate to stop living paycheck to paycheck. But lo and behold, once I got into that real estate brokerage, it was Keller Williams. I found out how much money they were taking out of those checks, and I had to find another direction, right? So I had a homeboy in North Carolina. He suggested to get into what we call wholesaling. So wholesaling is nothing but another real estate investment strategy where you can make money by buying and selling your own buying and selling real estate, right? Without having a real estate license. So I looked into this. I went up to a few pop-ups with this guy named Max Maxwell. He's a real estate investor out of North Carolina. He came down to Hoover, Alabama one day. And, myself and my wife, we went to this meeting, and the information I learned going to these meetings was irreplaceable. It basically set this thing off my mind where, I ought to get addicted to this and really turn it into a career, better yet, a hobby, right? Because when you start doing things that you actually love doing, it's no longer work, right? So, at that point, I think this is around 2019, again, I got my real estate license. We started wholesaling. After a few months of learning wholesaling, we made around maybe $15,000 to $20,000 by wholesaling real estate. Again, this is where you can buy and sell real estate without having a real estate license and without spending your own money. We built up capital to begin getting into that flipping industry, right? But before we dove in, we did one important move that really set it off for us, right? At the time, we were spending a lot of time researching on the internet on how to flip houses and how to wholesale real estate. A lot of this information is online anyway, right? But what really made the biggest difference was when we located our mentor. His name is Justin Giles here in Atlanta. We located a mentor. We spent a good $5,000 for that investment on ourselves, and in return, we eventually were able to get into flipping real estate, right? So once we went through that mentorship, by the time we learned all that information, it was around May of 2020. At that time, we had enough money to sort of dive into buying our own house and really start flipping real estate. And once we went through that first property back in July of 2020, I made my yearly salary in a matter of 2 months, right? So after going through that project and learning the ins and outs of the game, it sort of triggered my perspective or my way of thinking. It allowed me to sort of think differently and see the true benefits out of real estate investing, right? So after that first property, that really set it off. That changed our lives. I waited 6 months. I quit my day job, right? I retired from my day job, and we turned full-blown entrepreneurs, right? And that was back in, 2021? Right, January of 2021. We haven't looked back since. So 2020. Yeah, January of 2020. Are you sure? No, because we got our first house in May of 2020 or July 2020. Remember? Anyway, so yeah, so I mean, I think it's really important to sort of start doing things outside your comfort zone. All right. For us, that was actually spending that amount of money to make us money. Right. And once we saw how we can do that on that first property, you couldn't tell us nothing at that point. Right. We began going through a lot more deals, and we grew a little bit more comfortable as far as investing in real estate. So that's my story. Pretty much all those things led us up to this point where you see us today. We have a pretty established business here in Atlanta, Georgia. But this brings me on to my next question. Why real estate? Why in the world would you get into real estate investing, right? Well, look, this is something I tell most of my peers today. Your average millionaire has 7 sources of income, right? I guarantee you one of those sources is going to be real estate, okay? I mean, regardless of who the investor is. I mean, you got Donald Trump, you got Bill Gates, you got Elon Musk, you got Jeff Bezos, right? All these people obviously have different businesses, but I guarantee you they have some type of real estate investing in their portfolio, right? So a huge reason why I got into real estate investing, because real estate has been around forever. Everybody needs a house, right? There's billions of people on this earth, millions of people here in the States alone, right? There's millions of houses in each state. Why not get into real estate, regardless of what the strategy is? You could be flipping houses and making capital gains, or you could be buying and holding, still making capital gains, but then you're building equity, and then you have cash flow, right? All these things set you aside from your average person, right? What keeps us in that rat race is basically living paycheck to paycheck and not investing, right? But the point where you start investing, that's where your game changes. Okay, so again, this is why we get into these this conversation, right? This financial conversation. They're simply sparking up interest as far as how you get out this rat race. I know too many people out here living paycheck to paycheck, and we're wondering why or how do we get out this race, right? This is exactly how you do it. You got to invest. Okay, so again, why invest in real estate? Again, real estate has been around for years. Everything that you see that we have going on today, this isn't something that we made up. These are proven strategies. I simply hired a mentor, learned information, right? And then structured my own business by buying and flipping real estate, right? And then we're going to eventually scale that business. Okay, so another good reason is that cash flow, right? Let's say you take a buy and hold strategy. You find a property that you want to buy, and you hold on to that property. You rent it out, right? You're gonna get instant cash flow, right? This is basically what you're getting from your day job anyway, right? But the only difference is you're working to get that money, right? This is passive income. When you buy a house, you can rent it out and simply get paid for that monthly income because you have a tenant in place. That's cash flow, right? These are the things that get you out of that rat race. All right. So there's so many benefits out of getting in, there's so many benefits going into real estate investing. The biggest benefit is, it allows you to become financially free. Okay. So that's one of the major reasons why I got into real estate myself. And now I want to explain a little bit about our business. So after we learned that information from our mentor, we went through a few flips, right? I figured a lot more people will probably want to learn how to flip real estate, right? But you don't have too many businesses that not only teach you how to how to flip real estate, flip houses, but also flip the house with you. Okay, so there's a lot of mentors out here just giving information as far as how to get into real estate investing, regardless if it's wholesaling, buying and holding, or flipping real estate, right? But there's not too many people that's going to flip the house with you. Okay, so after we went through our first flip, we learned literally everything went wrong on that first flip. Okay, so that allowed us to sort of learn a bit more than your average investor, right? And then based off all those wrongs, all those failures, we were able to sort of streamline the process on our next flip. So after we bought our second flip back in September of 2020, everything was pretty much seamless, right? Everything was easy peasy, simply put, because we failed so many times to learn what not to do. And that's another important thing I want to explain to you guys. A lot of us are afraid to fail, right? You have to be open to failure, because without failing, how are you going to learn what not to do? We learn how to walk, or we fall when we learn how to walk, and then we start walking, right? Before we start running, we got to walk a little bit more, but we're still going to fall down plenty of times before that happens. Okay, so you got to be comfortable with the idea of failing, because in this game, in the real estate industry, you're going to fail a tremendous amount of times. So you have to be comfortable with that thought. But nevertheless, once we got to our second flip, we pretty much streamlined the process, and we sort of thought, hey, I bet there's a lot more investors out here who would appreciate a seasoned investor holding their hand through that process, right? And so, we sculpted, we orchestrated our business, Harris Esteas, where we not only help people buy and sell real estate, we have an investment program where we'll help you flip houses, right? So we're going to teach you how to flip houses. We're going to teach you all the information from point A to point Z. So that includes locating properties, how to negotiate with your real estate agents or your owner occupants, right? How to get it under contract, how to run the numbers, all the way to actually buying the house, renovating, locating contractors, what to renovate in the property, how to find the material, all the way to the point of us actually selling that house and exiting at a profit, right? So we have that program where we walk you through this tedious process. We're alleviating that tremendous amount of risk that most people are afraid of holding on their chest, right? Because nobody really wants to tackle all that, or have all that stress whenever you're going through a flip, right? If you have someone who can hold your hand through that process, it makes it that much easier, right? And we have 100% success rate. Okay, just the other week, I sent somebody $100,000. They netted $60,000, that profit, right? That net profit. So this is an easy way for people to win, all while you're learning how to invest in real estate. Okay, how much time we got, man? We good? Right. So that's pretty much how our business works. We were able to orchestrate that simply by going outside of our comfort zone, going through mistakes, our failures, and just keep it moving, staying confident, and just staying consistent and keeping that process going. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out, but I just want to go over a couple more details. So most people are trying to go into the investing strategy or invest in properties or invest in crypto stocks, whatever the case, without fully understanding or educating themselves, right? So one thing I want to sort of tackle with before we end, I want to make it clear what is financial literacy? What is financial literacy to you? Okay, on Google. So if you Google this, financial literacy, it says that it's the ability to effectively use various financial skills such as personal finance managing, budgeting, and investing, okay? Right? But it all starts with the education. If you don't know how to do these things, how in the world are you going to flourish? How are you going to succeed without first educating yourself, okay? But let me tell you this, a lot of people are going to buy these mentorships. They're going to buy these courses and try to educate themselves, but that's only half of the process, right? That's half of the way. You got to also take action, right? A lot of people are hit with analysis paralysis, okay? But you can't let that affect your growth, all right? So in addition to you educating yourself, you also want to start taking action and and staying ahead of the game, right? As soon as you start educating yourself and putting that education into action, that's when you truly flourish. Okay, you can't, and again, you can't be afraid to fail. And I'm going to tell you this, especially if you're going to go get into real estate investing, you're going to fail. It's going to happen. So be comfortable with that. Allow the failure to hit you and learn from it so you can begin running out here in these streets and investing real estate. I truly believe in you guys. And I basically just want to share our conversations regarding financial literacy, our financial conversations, so that you can truly learn from it and be able to succeed just like we are. Listen, I was in your position probably a good 2 to 3 years ago. I was literally in your position. I was telling my buddy the other day, he was praising me, telling me, hey man, Devon, you've come so long, man. You out here getting it, and I'm so proud of you. But I told this man, hey bro, it was only 2 or 3 years ago. I was right down the street from your house, bro. we was down the street kicking it, man. So if I can do these things, so can you. I believe in you guys, man. Just hopefully we can provide good enough information for you guys to sort of be comfortable enough to walk outside your comfort zone and truly succeed in this finance world where we're not only investing in real estate, but investing in stocks or any type of business venture. As long as you're able to, step outside that comfort zone, you'll be able to win. Okay. So listen, that's all I have, guys. I'm looking forward to having this financial conversation with you guys. And hopefully we can create some more success stories. All right. I'll see you next time.